That's entertainment. You know, when you're a great fighter, a great entertainer in general, you want the person to say, when do I see that person again? When's he gonna play again? When's he gonna fight again? You know, you gotta be able, if you can't put in seats, you're gonna get fired. You know.
40 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's gonna win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. And it didn't take me going to camp to know this.
Okay.
Weight gain. So Israel Majamov says that if Terence Crawford bulks up, that's going to be the biggest mistake he can possibly make. And that's going to hinder him from being victorious against Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Mike Tyson didn't hold back after training with Terence Crawford. He said the real danger before a massive fight with Canelo Alvarez isn't the punches, it's the mind games. Tyson claimed the pressure can break a fighter before the bell even rings. But if Crawford keeps his head cool and doesn't let the moment swallow him, he could make beating Canelo look easy.
You know, fighters, pressure, right? Pressure's not being hit. You know, everybody think pressure's like getting on stage. No, pressure's the thought of being hit. And that's how they fall. The thought is going, I'm not hitting that hard, but they think I am.
Right. So
it's all psychological.
Are you, when you're walking to the ring, are you noticing anything, or are you so locked in?
I see everything moving. Every person, every girl.
Dude, your walk-ins would last longer than the fights sometimes.
Do anyone have a napkin on my towels? Because I'm sweating like a pit with one hole up here.
You're sweating.
We will get you one.
You're sweating.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're sweating like Charles Barkley at a spelling bee.
Yeah, I'm going to be sweating pretty hard there, too.
Exactly. So, Mike, we all know you hit hard. Who was the first person that when they hit you, you was like, oh, okay, this guy hits pretty hard?
Amir Khan, who actually fought Canelo Alvarez himself, knows exactly how dangerous Canelo is. He admits Canelo has huge experience and proven dominance at higher weights, but Khan also warns people not to sleep on Terence Crawford. He says Crawford's power is real, and now that he's moving up in weight, he looks stronger than ever. Khan made it clear this fight won't be one-sided, because both men have the skills to end it in one shot. While he respects Canelo's track record, Khan stirred debate by suggesting Crawford's ability to adapt could be the X factor that makes this fight impossible to predict.
He did that to Canelo after, so to your point, can Crawford do the same? Coming up from 54 and 47, can he, or will that, throw off the catch and shoot? I was gonna catch and shoot.
Make me think.
We're not catching and shooting.
We're catching and resetting and getting out of this range for a minute or two.
My fight with Arrow, I came back to the corner. I had a look on my face, I guess. And my dad said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Nothing." Like, classic Sean, nothing. He said, "Sean, tell me what's wrong." I said, my legs are kind of tight. He said, "Your legs kind of tight." He looked back, looked behind him. He would always do this and look back at the other corner. I don't know why. He looked back at them.
It's a habit, probably.
He said, "All right, we're not gonna use our legs so much this round." And I was thinking to myself, like, I need these legs.
I'm not trying to wear these shots.
Yeah. So to your point, when there's a feeling,
when the nervous system goes out,
where does that adjustment take place? Do you trust the adjustment? Do you implement it? So that next round I did settle down a little more. I was
lost the round.
Whatever. Hello.
I ain't know where around is. Chill out.
You don't even know where around is. Pour this water on you. So we got some time until this fight. So we ain't gotta pour it all out at one time. We'll work our way up to this one.
Try to get on big guests to lead up to the fight.
Expect some more very, very big guests, and expect some very, very big things from the Puerto Rico podcast the week of Crawford versus Crawford versus Canelo versus Crawford. Takes place here. What is that? September 6th?
13th. I was just gonna say, I've been critical of the fight because I felt like it serves as a foreground to the Ali Act stuff.
Boxing analysts aren't holding back. They say Terence Crawford's age could be his biggest enemy. By the time he fights Canelo Alvarez, Crawford will be 38, and in boxing, that number matters. Sure, he moved up and beat Israel Majamov at 154, but critics argue one fight doesn't prove he can handle a monster like Canelo, who has been dominating bigger men for years. Age slows down reflexes, speed, and recovery, and against a relentless fighter like Canelo, that could be deadly. They claim Crawford still has the skills, but his body might betray him when it matters most. For many, this isn't just the toughest fight of Crawford's career. It's the fight that could expose whether he's still elite or already past his prime.
Being successful, September 13th, Las Vegas, Nevada, Allegiant Stadium, when he takes on another first ballot Hall of Famer, 4-division world champion, 2-time undisputed world champion, and reigning undisputed super middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is 63 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. Terence Crawford had one fight at 154. That was against Israel Majimov, the WBA junior middleweight world champion, right? And since then, Terence Crawford has moved up now to 168 to challenge Canelo Alvarez, okay? And so prior to that, he spent 5 years at what? Welterweight. So the concern that people have for Terence Crawford, rightfully so, is that Terence Crawford will be 38 years of age 2 weeks after the fight. So he's 37, okay? Terence Crawford has one fight at 154. Prior to that, Terence Crawford has been competing, okay, since 2018 for the last 7 years at 147. Since June of 2018, he's been fighting at 147. His only fight outside of that division in the last 5 to 6 years was his fight against Israel Majimov at 154, which he won, unanimous decision. I thought he handily won, but people thought that he struggled. Israel Majimov is now 10 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 7 wins by way of knockout because he lost his last fight to Mexican superstar, WBC junior middleweight interim champion Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Terence Crawford and his team are making it clear they won't repeat Jermall Charlo's embarrassing performance against Canelo Alvarez. Crawford flat out said, "I'm not Charlo," insisting his discipline, style, and fight IQ are on another level. His camp is focused on movement, precision, and smart pacing, not trying to outmuscle Canelo. The goal is to frustrate him, make him miss, and punish him with sharp counters. Training has been brutal, with sparring partners brought in to mimic Canelo's power and pressure. Crawford's message is simple. He won't fold like Charlo. He's coming to take over.
Team Crawford just revealed that they're currently working on making sure that the Omaha native doesn't end up like Jermall Charlo this coming September 13th when he faces Canelo Alvarez. Now this report comes from Boxing Scene, wherein it was just revealed by somebody from Crawford's camp that Terence Crawford is, quote, wary of repeating the mistake that former 154-pound champion Jermall Charlo made to a new weight limit without consideration of other factors. Boxing Scene further elaborated by saying that Crawford wants to retain his ability to fight with fluidity, maximizing the effectiveness of his power punches from both hands and ability to fight from a southpaw stance. With that said, Crawford's camp is now on full lockdown from the media or any sort of distraction up until fight week. Now, it's definitely worth considering that while it's
experts are already questioning whether Terence Crawford's move up in weight could backfire. Photos of him looking bulkier have gone viral, sparking debate about whether he's sacrificing speed for size. Some analysts warn that while pictures can be misleading, the concern is real. Extra muscle doesn't always mean extra advantage. At Crawford's age, added bulk could slow his reflexes, drain his stamina, and take away the very quickness that made him so dangerous. Sure, more weight might give him more power, but if it kills his endurance, Canelo Alvarez could expose him badly.
Because the man is simply human. I mean, the more you age and the more weight you gain, of course you're going to be slower. Now, that doesn't mean that he won't be an elite fighter anymore. No, of course not. When you talk about special fighters like Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, they can handle themselves against anyone on any given night in the worst circumstances possible. That is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get back into the discussion when it comes to Terence Crawford carrying the 168 division, when it comes to the 168 pound weight. So if you actually think about it, Terence Crawford, how is the man looking right now? I know, yes, I know that we have seen the new pictures of Crawford with him looking absolutely massive, but I actually talked about this in one of my previous videos, ladies and gentlemen, which you can go back and check out. Terence Crawford, don't let these pictures fool you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let these pictures fool you. Yes, of course, Terence Crawford gained weight, but the pictures make it seem like Terence Crawford looks like a heavyweight. Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, the lighting and the pump and the angle, everything plays a part in how you look in pictures. You know what I mean? Like, this is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. I can show you 2 pictures of me taken within 24 hours, and in one picture my physique looks completely different than the other picture. One picture I can take after having a unbelievable workout, with a nice sweat on, with a nice pump, with some nice lighting and a nice angle. I would look completely different than when I look right now or getting out of bed, which I just did.
At the end of the day, Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford isn't just another fight. It's a battle of power versus skill, size versus strategy, and legacy versus legacy. Some say Crawford is chasing greatness too late. Others believe he's the one man who can finally crack Canelo's code. Either way, this fight has the boxing world split right down the middle. What do you think? Does Crawford shock the world? Or does Canelo prove once again why he's the king of the ring? Let me know your prediction in the comments below. And don't forget, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another breakdown. We've got more boxing drama, hot takes, and behind-the-scenes stories coming your way. Stay tuned, because this fight is just the beginning.